there. Hopefully, you had a good weekend of soccer, moms. Well, we had a fun, busy weekend of football around here. El Clásico was El Nutso. Did you take a view of that game today? My God, what a game. You want to talk about entertaining and lack of defense? That had it. Chelsea beat Newcastle. No. That's what we'll expect it to happen. Newcastle beat Chelsea. Forest drew with Leicester, and their owner, the Forest owner, came onto the field at the end of the game. He's not happy. Lots to get to there. We're talking EPL, Bundesliga, MLS, because that's what we do. Let's jump in.
What? And I'm going to give you one opportunity because we're friends.
Winner! Who gives a shit about where the ball's been?
Yeah, F him. They went from loving this guy, best move ever, to hating him.
I think it's the most ridiculous thing in the world.
I love it because it tells you how the game was played.
There's nowhere for him to go. I think there's one place.
You can't do that in the national team. Do I look like I'm freaking kidding?
He does things that are absolutely insane.
Successful and sexy? No. It wasn't aggravating at times? Yes.
Sorry,
That's not very fair.
It's not about being fair.
Welcome to the greatest soccer show ever.
Well, happy Mother's Day, as you heard me say. Hopefully all the moms out there have had a great day, and your significant others and your kids have done all the work around the house, and you're relaxing with a glass of wine, watching us fine gentlemen here. We got a lot to get to, as you heard me say. Not just me here in the studio. I've got some special guests, Nate and Danny. Danny, welcome back. How are you, Nate?
I'm having technical issues over here.
Yeah?
Yeah, I ran over my cord with my wheels.
Oops.
And then I ran over my toe with my wheels.
Oh, you're wearing shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing sandals. I just don't care anymore.
He's wearing sandals with socks. So you are German. You really have taken to the German way of life.
Yeah, I did so like years ago when I,
That just proves it.
lived there.
Yeah.
Hi, Danny.
Danny, welcome
Hi.
back, my friend. How are you?
It's been a while.
Yes, it has.
It's been a while, but I thought I'd grace you with my presence this evening, seeing as all things have calmed down for me, so I should be making a regular appearance back to the Muscle Island table here.
There you go.
Right in time to get in the conversation of the three-back system being.
Oh,
know, right?
God. Here
Yeah.
we go. I did a little bit of research.
It's going to be a
on
bit of
that,
a doozy, seeing as though Craig's a 4-4-2 guy.
Greg only knows a 4-4-2 because his brain never left.
He'd be an interesting coach, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
He'd be an interesting coach.
Yeah,
4-4-2
he's done
back
it.
in the old
You haven't heard
Montpellier
about
system.
the We Are Soccer rec team champions team. What are we calling it? The We Are Soccer. What?
I don't know.
He
We are soccer youth team.
He crushes teams.
Joe, we could do it. I tell you what, based off the amount of clubs that are starting up these days, youth soccer clubs, we could create our own, couldn't we? There was.
Hey, and then we can
Soccer
get bought out.
That's the business model. That is the business model these days. Start a or youth team and then get bought out by one of the big clubs. That's it. Welcome.
Bingo.
Done.
Let's do it.
Let's do that. Brooks, how are you?
Oh, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, soccer this weekend, watching games, and the college lacrosse was on this weekend, so watching that, and
Brooks is,
yeah.
If I had control, we'd mute his mic.
Yeah. Well, the gang's back here, so we have to bring up lacrosse for a
I
second.
have a question for you, Brooks. Were you out at the FC Pontiac men's game last Sunday?
I was not.
You weren't?
Was not.
Okay.
Was not.
Somebody said to me, like, Kev, I was at a meeting with him the other day, and he
Yeah.
goes, I thought I saw Brooks Lambier up by himself in the stands, sat there.
That sounds like Brooks,
with his
though.
glasses on, stat on a piece of paper. I was like, okay. He might be
was
sat.
not me.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, you know who I sat next to like last weekend?
Who?
Andy Wagstaff.
Oh, yeah?
Mr.
It's one of the game.
Wagstaff.
Yeah, our daughters were playing against each other. I had to tell him to pipe down.
Oh.
Too much talking, coach from the sideline. I went, all these parents always coach from the sideline, Wags. And he just started laughing.
Waggy, quiet, mate.
He's like, it's so hard not to. And I'm like, I know.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, fellas, let's jump in. Let's get to it. We're going to talk about some of those EPL games that happened today. Why don't we talk about that Liverpool-Arsenal game? The game was at Liverpool. Ended 2-2. I don't know what else to say about it, to be honest. It wasn't listen, there's nothing to play for. Arsenal, they're finishing second. Liverpool know they've won the league. It is the only thing that really impressed me in this game was the absolute garbage that was in the stands for Liverpool. You were booing Trent Alexander-Arnold the entire game? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding?
I don't understand that, to be honest with you.
I don't get it.
The guy is, you know, it was like, remember back in the day when Gerrard was on his way out, or well, he was rumored to be on his way out, right? There was Chelsea, Real Madrid, even Man United were in for him at the time. But, you know, he never left. It was always his hometown club and all that sort of stuff. I've sort of like lost this idea, you know, I mean, he's won everything there, right? He's come through the academy, he's done really well, he's serviced the club really well, but now he wants a different challenge. And are we saying that professional footballers, just because they're a homegrown player, they have to be loyal to that club for the rest of their career? Is that what we're saying?
That's what the fans expect. But I mean, let's be very honest. As you said, he's won everything with the club. He's been there since the age of 6 or 8 or something like that. He's done everything there is to do with the club. What's wrong with going on to a new challenge? Now, a lot of the clubs in England think they are the biggest clubs in the world, but they're not. When Barcelona or Real Madrid come calling, you go. You take that challenge. Go.
There's an element of appeal to it. His best friend's Jude Bellingham. He's gone. He's there, right?
And enjoying it.
They're in need of a right back right now. You know, so
bigger wages.
Yeah, more wages.
Less
You
football.
know, I mean, even Jamie Carragher said it the other night on Sky Sports News. Real Madrid are the biggest club in the world. They come calling, you're gone. Doesn't matter whether you're playing for Liverpool, Manchester United. Manchester United have lost many players to Real Madrid. One of them being arguably one of the greatest players ever. You know,
the argument, I guess, from Liverpool fans currently is, why didn't he go last year when we could have cashed in and got some money? You know what? You offered him a contract. He saw the contract out. He won trophies for you. What's the big deal? What's the big deal? So you could have cashed in for 25 to 30 million in January. Did you? No.
So they need to be happy that you had the player and not just
be happy. And then when he comes back later in life, just treat him like a legend that he is at the club.
So maybe the big deal is the fact that reportedly Liverpool is offering him more money that he turned down. He's, you know, been on several quotes saying that he's never going to leave Liverpool. So maybe that's the big deal. Maybe it's
every player says that though when they're in the throes of a contract or they've been there forever. I love this club, I don't want to leave. Now, I personally think they didn't offer him a ton of money, and Real Madrid came and said, "This is what we will offer you," and then Liverpool came back with a counter, and at that point you go, "Well, wait a minute, why didn't you offer me that the first time? That you're what you really think of me is what you offered me the first time." Real Madrid, biggest club in the world, came knocking, offered me this.
I mean, we were all sitting here, I think, in our group chats, right, away from off screen, and we were talking about those three, Virgil van Dijk, Salah, and Trent, and I think I said at the time all three were going. I thought all three were going.
Seemed that way.
It did, didn't it? And then the other two did an about face. You know, but I mean, he's still a young lad.
26.
He's still a young lad. He's not even in his prime yet. He's not hit 28 years old. So, I mean, if he wants to go and play at Real Madrid, I mean, all the power to him. I just don't understand it. I mean, you know, I understand the homegrown player loyalty and all that sort of stuff. We sort of had the same thing with, you know, Beckham and Scholes and Giggs, and a lot of them stayed and some of them went. Right. So,
I mean, but like you said, good luck to the kid. Let him go try something different, a new challenge, play with his best friend. It's a 2-horse race over there, but then you get into the Champions League every year without fail, and you could win the Champions League several times in the next couple of years with Real Madrid.
So it's easy to say.
Sure.
For you, for me, because none of us give two poops about Liverpool. Now, let's take who's a promising young talent at Villa?
Right now?
Yeah, or someone who came up through the ranks.
Come up through the ranks?
Yep.
It was Matty Cash for a while, wasn't it?
It was Cash for a little bit, but there's
Go back to Grealish. Go back to
Grealish. Yeah.
How do you feel when Grealish left?
So it was funny.
Oh, you guys are saying it wasn't going to happen. I said.
Right. I said it's not going to happen because he signed a new contract, but I didn't think anybody would come in with the offer of $100 million for him, and sure enough, they did. Honestly, when he came back to Villa Park as a Man City player, he was booed by a couple of people. No, I don't.
He got you promoted, didn't he?
Right.
You know, he got you promoted.
And he truly loves the club.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
I was happy for him. Go win the Premiership title because you're not winning that with us.
You're gonna bring him back?
4 years ago, you're not. No, I don't want him back anymore. He's past his prime.
Okay.
And I think he would understand that. But I said, go win the Premiership. Go do that. That's brilliant. We got $100 million for you. That's great. Now, if he let his 5-year contract expire, again, he's 28 at that point. Good luck to you.
Just knowing the city well from growing up there and knowing the people well. there's a lot of Liverpool fans that are quite common sense in the fact that they'll applaud the fact that he's given the club so much service and that he's going to, you know, a non-Premier League club and he's going abroad and all that sort of stuff. But then you get some, to be honest with you, the people booing him in the stands today were probably the uneducated Liverpool fans.
Yep.
To be honest with you,
The ones from around the world.
the ones that just don't understand it.
Yeah.
They don't understand the tradition, the history of the club, and all that sort of stuff.
They already painted over some of his murals and like changed them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like
You
on the
know,
buildings and stuff like that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
well, he's not a player. Well, he is currently a player, right? But as soon as the season ends in 2 weeks, he's gone. And I get it. Fine. It's fine. Whatever. But just in my opinion, with what he's done with the club and been an integral part at the club for his last home matches, don't boo the kid. Give him the applause he deserves, and you know, thank him for the service he's had.
So for me, there was a moment in time when Wayne Rooney was being talked about leaving. I want to say it was Madrid, maybe, or something. I can't remember where he was, like years ago, before he got his contract
Chelsea.
extension. What?
It was Chelsea.
It was Chelsea.
Chelsea when
Yeah,
He awarded him at Chelsea.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly,
Abramovich came in, yeah.
I loved Wayne Rooney. He was my favorite player. But I took the stance of if he doesn't want to be here,
Exactly.
see ya. I mean, I get it. Like,
Yep.
Sorry, you know what I mean. Players come and go.
Well,
They can choose where they want to go
yeah, I mean,
when you're that good.
yeah, I don't really understand the hatred and the fire that's coming back. People should just be happy he was there and be happy for the kid. And it's going to be a hell of a challenge. Now he's got some obstacles. We'll talk about that El Clásico today, boys. That was fire. All you had to do was watch some of the highlights, and a normal highlights in a football match will be anywhere from like 10 to 13 minutes, right? You can get through some highlights and go, okay, that was the pointers. This one had like 20 some odd minutes of highlights. I mean, it was phenomenal if you watch the game and then you went and watched the highlights, because you're like, everything, the entire game was a highlight. You just don't watch the highlights. Watch the entire game. It was absolutely incredible. We're going to get to that. That's
Like that Champions League game between Inter Milan and Barcelona.
Oh my God.
Oh, both
those
of them.
games.
Both of
Oh
them.
my God. Were those Champions League games?
Oh.
Oh, it's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
No one cares about Champions League because our teams aren't in it anymore, though, I guess. I'm just kidding.
Come on.
I don't know. I think the Champions League games have been talked about in the last 4 or 5 days, right? So,
Sure.
I've got an interesting one, and maybe we can just
jump in. Go for it.
Maybe we can just sneak it in somewhere later down the show, because I know we've got Premier League to get to. But the interesting thing was the Andy Gray, Richard Keys commentary on BN Sports when they were talking about, you know, this thing that's going around right now about Tottenham and Manchester United shouldn't even deserve a Champions League spot and all that sort of stuff because of the Europa League. We'll get to it later. I think it's interesting. I just want to segue into it at some point.
Yeah, we're definitely talking about that. We're definitely talking about Tottenham and Manchester United playing the Europa League final coming up in a couple of weeks. Villa, the sandwich of that game, actually. So it's interesting. Let's get to the rest of the EPL games that happened that kind of mattered this weekend. Let's jump in. Nottingham Forest 2, Leicester 2. The owner came onto the field. Did you guys see what happened in this game? Did everybody see what happened? So Nottingham Forest, they're about to make a substitution, their last window, and a player gets injured. And he gets some treatment. He comes off the field, and he's down by the far end of the goal. And they're waiting to make the sub, and they're radioing to.
That was rough. How he hit the post too. I watched the highlight. It was rough.
I think it was offside as well.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he hits the post, but he's injured, and he says, "Yeah, I'm good. I can go back on and play." So they say, "Okay, we'll make our substitution." They made the substitution. There's 25 minutes in the game left. Make the substitution. Okay. The player continues to walk up the sideline and bends over and goes, "Yeah, no, I can't do it. I can't go on." And they're like, "Well,
you have to play because that was our last sub.
We have no more windows to make subs. So they sent an injured player on to play the last 20 minutes or so. In the end, Leicester tied it up. It's 2-2. Forest needed the points. They needed all 3 points because they are still vying for a Champions League spot. We'll show the table in a little bit here. And the owner at the end of the game, Nuno Espirito Santo, the Nottingham Forest manager, is shaking hands with the team. And the owner tries to walk past him to go to the injured player to confront him. And Nuno Espirito Santo kind of stops him. They have a little conversation. You can see he's not happy.
By the way, don't owners usually wear suits? I think he's too fat to fit in a suit, that guy, to be honest with you.
He's a big boy.
He's in a lot of Euros.
He's a big Greek boy.
Yeah, he's in a lot of Euros, I think.
I thought it was just like, I thought it was silly.
It's amateurish.
You know, it's just silly, wasn't it? It's just like airing your dirty laundry, out in public. I just thought it was silly. I mean, you can be upset as an owner, but, I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, what are you upset about? I mean, FA Cup semi-final, and you're in the top 5-6 teams all season at this football club.
Bingo.
And last season they were languishing down at the bottom.
Where have they been the last several seasons? In the Championship, and last season they're down the bottom of the Premiership, and look what Nuno Espirito Santo has done this year. It's incredible.
You pretty much vie on for Europa League or Europa Conference League, right?
Yeah, I think it's already secured.
Yeah, Europa League or Europa Conference League,
Which if I were them, I'd want that over a Champions League spot.
Right.
Sure.
Sure. We'll see what.
Sure, because they could win
happens.
it possibly,
Maybe not win it, but it could go deeper.
Yeah. There's just a point where there's places you don't cross and you do cross when you're working with technical groups and ownership and coaches, and coming on the field after a game or heading in the locker room after, it's a no for me.
Owners come on the field when good things happen and they want to celebrate and shake the hands and show the love of the club and the fans and all that good stuff. Not when you're pissed off. To Nuno's credit, even in the interview after the game, he said, he's fine.
He didn't call him out at least.
He said it's fine. All's good. Don't worry about it. I understand it. He didn't call him out. He didn't say. I mean, that's a good. I mean, good employee right there.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, and you're
never wrong.
You seem to be
moving on.
You seem to think a little bit like me, but if that was me at the end of the game, and I had that conversation with a reporter, I would handle it exactly the same way as Nuno Espirito, right? And after that, I'd walk straight down to the chairman's office. I'd close the door. Don't ever embarrass me like that again in public.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm the manager of this football club. Don't step onto the pitch like that and question my decisions.
And by the way, the player who said he was healthy but then all of a sudden wasn't, I trust him 100%. And if he says his body is injured and it took him a couple of minutes, that's unfortunate, but it happens. You, Mr. Owner, are not even capable of running a 50-yard sprint, let alone doing what one of those players just did on the field.
He probably doesn't know football.
100%.
So there you go.
And he's got every right, really, the manager, to walk into his office and just say, "I'm done. I resign."
Yeah.
No, and I'd pretty much do the same, but my choice words would just be like, "Are you doing this or me?"
Yep.
If you want to do it, that's fine.
What are you paying me for?
If I'm doing it, no, am I doing it or are you doing it? Because if I'm doing it, then stay out of it. If you have questions later, we'll talk about it.
Right.
If you want to do it, it's fine. I'm out of here.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm not going to do this in between.
Yeah.
So make your decision. I don't really care.
Right.
All right, moving on. Some of the other games that happened this weekend: Fulham 1, Everton 3. Everton to come alive. Fulham towards the end of the season have just died here, just sunk away, not moving up, not going down.
It's good for you and your Villa.
It is, but they were never going to catch Villa, but they really have just fallen off here. After taking a 1-0 lead in that game, Everton storm back and win with 3 goals and win 3-1. Ipswich 0, Brentford 1. Whatever happens. Here's the one I really want to get to for a little bit. Southampton 0, Manchester City 0. Southampton draw. This helps them avoid a Premier League record of least amount of points in the Premiership. To Pep Guardiola's credit, at the end of the game, he walked around and he shook the Southampton players' hands and said, "Congratulations, well done. What a great game." It was a really good display from Southampton, a good character display.
I would say so, because stats say pretty much Man City should have scored a lot of goals.
I'm sure the XG was probably like 9, right?
Yeah.
It was bad. Go ahead, Danny.
Yeah, he's had an odd season.
It really has.
Pep?
It really has.
An odd season, and I've got this feeling, this sneaky feeling in the pit of my stomach that he's done at the end of the season.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, let's throw in there the personal stuff that he has.
His divorce.
Right?
I think the thing with his wife is rough.
The rumor is, he was due to talk to Man City and tell them he was going to be done at the end of the year, and he signed an extension, signed a 2-year extension, and his wife wasn't happy because she moved out 2 weeks later, right?
Yep.
They've both been seen wearing wedding rings, but she is now living in Spain.
Yep.
He's gone back over there a couple of times. Been seen together a little bit, so it looks like they may be working things out. Good for them on that front. But, Danny, there may be something there like, hey, I don't want to lose her. I could be leaving the club at the end of the season here.
So it's always interesting, and I heard this, and I can't remember where I heard this from, years, many moons ago when he first went to City. But the rumor is always that he was going to be at City for a little bit, and then he's going to go take the Brazilian national team job.
Oh, it is open.
Well, it is open.
Yeah.
And Ancelotti has not. signed
Ancelotti
anything yet.
apparently caught the talks broke down, and Ancelotti is not taking the job now, which then opens that up. So it is a bit strange, and then it also kind of links up with United's decision to pull the trigger so quick, and Amrin, who was supposed to be the heir apparent to Guardiola. So it kind of all a little bit syncs up. Like, well, why didn't you wait till the end of the season to do this? Blah 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 blah. If they're catching wind or have some inkling that maybe he's not going to be around for a while, and people talk, people on the inside talk.
It's all gone very quiet. It's all gone very quiet over there, and it's City are kind of just creeping towards the end of the season with no real.
Nothing.
Really, but it's just
real
limping along.
Just game to game, and he's not really doing interviews, and he's and the interviews that he does do are very bland. They don't give anything away.
It is a bit of a strange end of the season. Maybe it's more embarrassment from their standpoint, where the last several years they've been. At this point, I've hoisted a trophy or several trophies. Who knows?
Make no mistake about it. When you throw up that league table later, they could still finish outside the top 5.
Yes, sir.
100% they could.
Yes, sir.
So
Yeah.
I mean, it's
We're going to put that up in about a minute here. A couple of other games we're going to chat about real quick, though. Some of the ones that doesn't really matter. Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Brighton Hove Albion Brooks. Your Brighton Hove Albion 2.
Yay!
Well done there. Another game that really didn't matter. Tottenham Hotspur 0, Crystal Palace 2. Palace had a real nice end of the season, as you know.
something came out of that, which is obviously detrimental to Spurs.
Yes.
For the 21st against United in the Europa League, was Kuleski went off injured.
Yeah.
And it looked bad when he went straight down the tunnel. So, that's him and James Maddison.
Let's say James Madison's pulled
I
up.
think Son's out as well, isn't he?
It could be a very interesting game for Manchester United against Tottenham, because half the players at Tottenham seem to be just going down like flies at the moment. Yeah.
We'll bottle it.
You'll bottle it.
Yeah.
The other game we mentioned, Newcastle United 2. This is home to Newcastle, at Newcastle. Newcastle United 2, Chelsea 0. I really thought, if you had asked me to put money on it, the way these teams have been flying, I thought it was going to be a 1-1 draw or a Chelsea win. But a Nicholas Jackson red card in the first half, in the 35th minute, is what caused this game to go off the rails. Tonali scores in the second minute. Newcastle United on their way. I think they could finish third and or maybe even second, the way Arsenal have been dropping points.
He's done a wonderful job, Eddie.
Really has.
He really has, and I think. To
He's
be honest,
a good manager.
I think to be honest with you, if you're looking maybe 2-4 years of Thomas Tuchel being the England manager, I think after that,
Eddie Howe.
Here comes Eddie Howe.
You
I
gotta
could see that.
You got to give it to Eddie Howe.
One of the best.
Gets
English
along with his
managers.
players, good culture.
Yeah,
One of the best English managers has been around in the last 10.
Yeah, I think you're definitely looking at the next England manager there.
I agree.
Yeah.
And last year, he had a little bit of a down year. I think they finished 8th or 9th or something like that. And everybody said, well, he could be out of a job. Well done to Newcastle for sticking with him.
Yes.
And look what it's done. He's
First
repaid
trophy in 20 odd years.
Right.
This year with the League Cup, they're in the Europa League next year, guaranteed through that, and now they're vying for a Champions League spot. So all good.
Exactly. All right. Last, we'll talk about my Aston Villa game. Aston Villa 1, Bournemouth 0.
Good win.
Good win. Just, man, Villa know how to make the heart go nutty at the end of the game. It was on strings there. Watkins becomes Aston Villa's all-time record lead Premier League goal scorer. So very nice.
Class
there.
for that. S is Bung Lahore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Very nice for
What was
Villa
that name
there.
again?
Gabriel Bung Lahore. Isn't that his name?
What's that last name again?
Stop it.
That was a lacrosse announcer's,
Did I not pronounce it right?
No, Agban Lahore.
Agbon. Oh.
Bon Lahore.
Ah.
Close enough.
To be honest with you,
Bungalow whore? What?
to be honest with you, and I'd never blow smoke up your ass. I'd never do it. I always criticize you, and you always criticize my club.
Blow, baby, blow.
Yeah, blow, baby, blow. I'm gonna blow.
Yeah.
I'm really sure gonna blow. Villa actually dealt with the strength of schedule this year. A lot more than Newcastle did last year when they were in the Champions League. Aston Villa actually dealt with it really well, and I actually think that kudos goes to Unai Emery with the players that he brought in this year.
Yep.
You know, the strength of the players that he brought in, the depth of the players, and the players that he signed in January as well actually added further depth to the squad.
I think if one or two of those players had come in before the January one, if they could have come in the summer, it would have been a lot better, because in the early part of the year is where we struggled. We gave up goals towards the end of the games, and we just draws or a loss here or there is what's killing us now. But you're 100% right, because we've seen this happen in the last several years. Newcastle struggled last year when they were in the Champions League. West Ham struggled when they went to Europa. And teams who get into Europe for the first time in several years, the following season they end up just dropping down the table.
Yeah, Brighton struggled last year.
Right.
Yeah.
They just struggle. Villa have done a very nice job. Absolutely.
Sure.
Good, not great. Obviously, we find ourselves in 6th at the moment. We need to get into the top 5. Still 2 games left to go. I need someone to drop points, whether it's City, Newcastle, Chelsea. I need one of those 3 clubs to drop points, not win a game or 2.
Yeah. You need
let us in.
Nottingham Forest and Brentford to keep losing too.
Once we put people in our rearview mirror, that's where they stay. I feel that we'll continue to win. 2 more games. We'll get to that. The other game on the docket this weekend that happened was Manchester United at home to West Ham. By all accounts, boys, Man United were all over West Ham in this game, but unfortunately did not win. It was a 2-0 win for West Ham. Ruben Amorim comes out after the game, says he's embarrassed. He's embarrassed by their season, the position they're in. There is still a chance to win a trophy, but he's not super happy. I'll let you guys have your thoughts on the game. Danny, why don't you lead us off, as you've been missing for several weeks, and Nate and I have been saying the same thing back and forth every week about the United games that are happening.
I think it's been a poor season. I think even if they win the Europa League, I don't think it saves their season, really, to be honest with you. I think it just highlights how the competition has changed so much, and the fact that you look at the teams that would have ordinarily before the change in the Champions League and the Europa League format would have dropped into the Europa League,
right?
And they didn't this year. Still some strong teams in there. I mean, we beat Bilbao in the semi-final of 4th in La Liga right now.
Yep.
So I mean, still some strong teams in there. No, I do. When Amorim took over Manchester United, they were in 4th. Oh no, sorry, they were in 6th, 4 points off the top 4 when he took over, right? When Ten Hag got fired, and now they're languishing in 17th. And I understand this whole, he was brought in to change the way that Manchester United played, stick to a system, which he's done all year. And to be honest with you, I'll give him a lot of props for it. He stuck to it despite the performances.
He could have very well changed it a couple times with some multiple losses coming. He says, I got to change something. But he stuck to it.
He stuck to his idea of the fact that I have to change it now because the players that are going to fit into this system that are going to be here in the summer need to carry that DNA with the players that are coming in that can play the system. So it's a big summer at Manchester United. It really is a big summer.
A lot of it hinges on whether they get into the Champions League.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get into the Champions League, the caliber of players you can draw to the club.
It's not just the caliber of players, it's the money.
Right.
It's the money.
The extra money that comes to the club. Not only the extra money from the Champions League and the games with it, but your additional sponsorships. I believe some of your sponsorships have said if you get into the Champions League, there's an additional 10 to 20 million per season that we pay because our logo on your shirt now gets seen more often. But there's a little bit of everything there.
I heard somebody say on the Talk Sport the other day that they were kind of saying that that the manager puts the players on the field, right? So is it his fault that they're languishing in 15, 16 spot, 16, 17 spot? And to a certain degree, I would say yes. But he was also brought in under pretenses of, listen, we understand this is going to be a difficult season. We understand you don't have the players to play the system that you've been playing at Sporting.
Right.
Do the best that you can, right? And then next summer, we will reevaluate. Mm-hmm. And I believe that was the message. And he's done that, and he stuck to that message because ordinarily, he'd have been fired by now.
Yes.
Most managers have
been fired by now, right?
Yeah.
Yes. He gets a longer leash.
I mean, it was a good friendly match that they played. Given up in the league about 2 months ago, and clearly have just focused on the Europa.
Yeah, I mean, we've said it. They're focusing on Europa League, but they have put out a strong team every week for the last 3 or 4 weeks. there's an occasional youngster in there or occasional backup in there. I get it, but the majority are and I think it's don't get injured. Don't do what Tottenham are doing on the other side.
It looks
right
like
now.
night and day when they play in the Europa versus when they play out there.
I do like Ruben Amorim's his honesty. He's very honest with the press, and as he said today, he's embarrassed. He's embarrassed by the position that the club of the size of Manchester United is in at the moment.
I'd be more worried if he was making statements like the one he said today about embarrassment and the players would switch off.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we all saw the game on Thursday, you know, where Casemiro scored and then he got subbed off and he came off and he hugged the manager. Bear hugged him and lifted him off the ground, you know, and they high-fived and all that sort of stuff. I do genuinely believe that these players believe in what he's doing. But I think there's a lot of them. Take today, for instance. There was some wholesale changes today. But you'd think that a lot of them that started the game today would be auditioning for a Europa League final spot, right?
Yeah.
I want to audition for that spot. I want to play in that final.
Yeah.
It was crap.
Yeah.
I mean, they dominated the first 20, 25 minutes, but after that, it was poor. So massive summer ahead for them.
Yeah. All right. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about some of the games that your club is going to be playing before the summer, though. There's that big Europa League final. We're going to talk about that for a couple of minutes. We're going to talk about the El Clásico. I'm telling you right now, folks, if you didn't see this game today, you missed out hugely.
Was it a classic?
It was. It was a classic.
Oh.
El Clásico, Nutso is what this was. All right, we're going to come back and talk about that right after this.
Hi, Brooks. We're at our favorite store, Soccer World in Rochester. We're just going to do some light shopping. Nothing big. Ooh, pretty colors. Oh, and one of these too?
Ooh, Germany. Nate would like this.
Hey, Brooks, look at all these. Look what I got.
South America. Ooh. Wow, that's not MLS. Ugh.
Socks? No.
Ooh, a ball pump. Next in line.
Sir, you're next.
Right. That's a mannequin. You know that.
Huh?
It's a mannequin.
Oh. Sorry, sir.
Huck, what are you doing?
Nothing.
Huh?
All right, we got a lot more to get to here. We're going to talk about the El Clásico. We're going to talk about the Europa League final. We're going to talk about some news and rumors. Yes, a lot of rumors already spreading. Who is Real Madrid looking at as a goalkeeper? Ooh, yes, we'll talk about that. What forwards are Manchester United looking at, and Juventus as well? We'll talk about all of that. But before we do, we're going to jump in and we're going to talk about that Europa League final. Tottenham versus Manchester United in Spain. Wednesday, the 21st, 3 p.m. All right, boys, you got to be looking forward to this. This is the game. This is what... Is this going to make the season, Danny? I mean, listen, it's been a poor season for Manchester United. But a trophy, nonetheless, and a pathway to the Champions League next year.
Here's the crazy thing we're talking about here. We're talking about, I think this is, their 5th final in 3 years?
Something like that, yeah. The FA Cup and
like the League Cups and FA Cups and Europa League Cups and all that sort of stuff. It could be their 5th trophy in 13 years, I think, or 6th trophy in 13 years, and Arteta's won 1. You know, I mean, I'm just throwing statistics out there. As bad as it is, they still find a way to win trophies, right? But I'll talk about the Richard Keys, Andy Gray comment, and I'll let Nate talk about the final. So they made a comment, right, where I don't like Andy Gray and Richard Keys after they spoke about that woman and got fired from Sky Sports years and years ago. Mm-hmm. I don't like him anyway, but Richard Keys made some comment, and it was like, it's wrong. Manchester United and Tottenham should not be qualifying for the Champions League because they're sitting 16th and 17th in the league. And I was like, I almost responded to it on Twitter, but I thought, you're never going to see my response anyway, so just don't even bother.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
What if they did though?
Huh?
What if they did?
Well, I might
like,
do.
who's this sexy English guy?
I know, I might. My problem is this. Now you're just bringing this up. This has been institutionalized since 2015, and now you're just bringing it up because it's Tottenham and Manchester United.
They just want to put their talking points out there.
Like, you're an absolute tool.
Yeah.
Listen, it is what it is because Manchester United and Tottenham are down in the table. I mean, they had good enough seasons last year to get into the Europa League, and that's what happened. Some teams the following year, they've made changes and things happen and you fall out, but good enough to be in the final. It is what it is.
So by that logic, right? By that logic, he goes, they should qualify for the Europa League next season. Okay, let's stick with that logic. Chelsea right now are sitting in Champions League spots, and they're in the Europa Conference League final. Right. So are we saying that if Chelsea win the Europa Conference League final, they could qualify for the Europa Conference League next season and forego their Champions League spot? I mean, is that what we're saying?
I mean, if we could make that happen for Chelsea, that'd be great.
So I get what they're saying, and I get what they're saying maybe from the aspect of how the Champions League used to be.
Sure.
Nowadays, where it has 64 odd teams or whatever, and it's like a Super League. Yeah, I don't
say those words.
Yeah, but it is. You know what I mean? Like,
it was exciting this year.
Do they stop? It got excited as soon as it turned into actual real games. But do Tottenham and Man United not deserve it any less than whatever Poland Warsaw Division 1 team is now entered into the Champions League? I would say no. They're in the same spot as those guys as well. So unless they go back to how it was, where it was, just the best teams from the best leagues and, what is it? 9 brackets, 4 teams in a bracket, best 2 out, right? Unless we go back to that, I don't want to hear it.
Well, back in the 80s, it used to be the top 2 teams.
You get what I'm saying. Don't give me that crap.
I mean, but you
get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying back in the day. I'm just saying the format's different than what it was before. Now there's
more money.
Yeah, and there are like 64 or 32 teams, right? 34.
I think there were 48 teams.
48. Yeah, and some of those teams are some whack divisions in Europe that don't even belong there either, that are going to get murdered anytime they play Real Madrid. So from the aspect of, hey, this isn't our best in the Champions League, which is kind of, I think, what their point is. So I kind of align with that. However, that's not how the Champions League is anymore, is it?
No, they said that the format of the Champions League was going to make games more exciting during the group phase. And the games in the quarterfinals and semifinals were absolutely bangers. Bangers, man. Absolute bangers. And the games in the group stages were crap. So like all you've done is you've just reformatted everything to make it appear like it's basically what you've done is it's so coincidental that 2 years after the European Super League thing came out with Barcelona, Juve, and Real, now you've created this new Champions League format that looks like a Super League.
Yep.
Yeah, it's weird. Like.
It's all about money, right? No.
Anyway, yes, I'm looking forward to the Europa League final. I do think we'll beat Tottenham.
Yeah.
We just have an uncanny knack of winning trophies, and let's face it, it's Tottenham.
Well, it's Tottenham, but you've lost to Tottenham twice this year, and like I always say, you lost 3 times.
3 times.
Oh, F me.
Yeah.
Okay, I was to say it's impossible to beat a team 3 times, but apparently Tottenham have done that too. Yeah. It's impossible to beat a team 4 times. I mean, but no, listen, they are not the healthiest team in the world right now. You guys are playing very well on Thursdays and Wednesdays, hopefully for you. Right. The game's the 21st, Wednesday the 21st at 3 p.m. Eastern time. I honestly think Manchester United have to be the favorites. They have to be the favorites, even though Tottenham have beaten them 3 times this year. I put my money on Man United. Man United find a way every year to get into the Champions League. They will find that way. And Tottenham, Ange Postecoglou shouldn't even get on the plane to go back to London. He should just hail a cab and go back to Australia. Via cab, yes. I think you can drive there.
Is it his fault or Daniel Levy's?
Yeah, he's going to get the sack at the end of the season, regardless of when he wins a trophy or not.
Yeah. But
I don't know. They may wait if they want Pochettino after the World Cup. They may let him stay one more year.
No, Daniel Levy doesn't wait. Daniel Levy doesn't wait for anybody. He's not even going to wait a week for Jose Mourinho when they had him.
Yeah, Daniel Levy's got about as much patience as I have watching lacrosse.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Click off.
Okay.
To get one in.
John.
I haven't been on here for a while, so I had to get one in.
All right. So I think everybody in the room probably going to put their money on Manchester United. We fully expect them to make it through and win that game and make it through the Champions League for next year.
No, man.
The funny thing was what?
I'm going with Tottenham with the upset.
You're being
What?
serious? You're being serious?
Hey, now.
Are you serious?
Screwing with me?
There's want.
Do you see
And
the
there
veins
is.
popping out of my head right now?
I'm not saying I want them to lose. You know damn well what I'm saying. I'm saying the way they've been playing this.
Why do you have to be so goddamn cynical all the time?
I had a messed up childhood, Danny, and I'm unloved by all accounts. And it's hard for me to unsteal my heart from the coldness that is this world. And I could see an existence where both my teams, all you have to do is beat some crap team.
Like
in order
Stuttgart?
for. Don't jump ahead.
Sorry.
All you have to do is beat some crap teams for the season not to be an utter debacle shitstorm. And sure enough, both of them lose in like the same 7-day span. And I'm curled up in the basement of my house, crying in darkness.
While playing FIFA?
Do you know,
Probably.
I've been watching the show for the past 9 months, a year since I've been on my sabbatical, and not once has he got lit up like that, and I've managed to do it in 40 minutes.
Yeah. Well done. Well done.
He's gotten Craig, though. The 3-back thing got him last week.
I mean, I just don't know.
He's
What
just
he's talking about.
pulling random stuff out of his ass.
I mean, everyone's
all right,
going
so
to
Nate-
back except
I
Major
think
League.
Tottenham will give him a game. I know there's injuries, but listen, this is the pinnacle of both clubs for
This is
like.
the season. This is the season.
Yes, this is like.
You bite your tongue, Brooks Lambier Jr.
There's a reason he has that flag behind him.
I mean,
guess.
let's
Oh yeah, you know.
let's break it down. Let's break it down. All right, United's been struggling. There's some of the key players show up, don't show up. You know, there you go. It's just what it is. Tottenham is Tottenham.
Tottenham is Tottenham.
For sure.
So you're betting on Man United.
I mean, I'm hoping.
All right. Well, I think we'll all expect them to be there. The funny thing is that game is Wednesday the 21st. A couple of days before that, Aston Villa played Tottenham. A couple of days after that game, Aston Villa played Man United. I mean,
He
listen.
gets tied into this too.
Yeah, Villa are into this, right? So, listen, Man United fans, we can kick and injure Tottenham even more if you'd like.
This works out perfectly for you. Because Tottenham are not going to play anybody before the game.
Nailed it.
And United have won. If they win the Europa League, they're not going to play anybody on Sunday.
Thank you.
It's going to be a trophy parade.
But if you lose, it could be
And if
utter
they lose
disaster.
it, they'll just play the youngsters and just be like, F it, we're done. Who
Yeah.
cares? It doesn't matter. We can't move up, can't move down.
I got double-edged sword for Man United a bit for the last one.
Aston Villa will find a way to probably draw against both of those teams and
Get the
finish
Europa League spot.
Yeah. Europa Conference League, most likely for Villa.
So
I'm a cynical Villa
Bournemouth
fan.
jumps you.
Oh, okay. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. There's only 2 games left. Anything can happen.
Fair enough.
You know what, though? Let's put that table up. Let's put the EPL table up. I do want to take a quick look. All right. Quickly, as we know, Liverpool walked away with the championship. Well done to them again. Arsenal there in second on 68, but Newcastle United right behind them on 66. City on 65. Chelsea on 63. Villa on 63, losing out on goal difference there. And Nottingham Forest in 7th on 62.
Can I just ask you a question, Nate? Look at the table. Look at that table and tell me. You're Look at the table and tell me, and you probably be able to say the same thing. Have Arsenal gone backwards this season?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Arteta should be fired.
Based off that points total.
Yeah.
EX Gunner thinks he should be fired.
Yeah,
there's
I
a
know. You
lot
know
of
your
Arsenal
burner
fans calling
account
for his
thinks
head. Yeah.
They should.
You're talking at the start of the season, and I think if we roll the footage back, because I think I was on that show,
We have it.
we have it somewhere where I think I said Arsenal.
I said
the
Arsenal
title.
too.
Yes, we have the sheet there. Oh wait, you have to do your read. He's
See,
looking
I
at the
knew
thing.
there was a reason I came back on the show.
This
evening, right?
old man
So
moment.
you know, it is. So there it is. There's the piece of paper. What does it say?
Hold on.
Nate's got to do his read.
All right, hold on.
This old man moment is brought to you by Michigan Jags. If your eyes are tired from being outside and watching your kids play all day, you have the Michigan Jags Mother's Day tournament to thank for that.
All weekend, yeah.
All weekend.
Danny, you are a little mistaken though.
Oh.
Because
You and I had Nottingham Forest. getting
here's your
kicked out.
top 4.
I
Because,
did.
because we thought at the time the top 4 was going to be Champions League, right? So I'll read you 4 through 1. You ready?
Okay.
You had Chelsea finishing 4th, Arsenal finishing 3rd, Man City finishing 2nd, Man United finishing 1st.
Oh, wow. I am sadly mistaken.
You don't think that's going to happen? Pull up the table mathematically. How do we get there?
If you win Europa League, you get like 20 points.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, bonus.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna keep reading with Danny's here. Danny, here's who you had getting relegated. Southampton. Congratulations, you picked them dead last. They finished dead last. 19th. You had Nottingham Forest.
Wow.
Yeah. And then 18th, which honestly, up until about 5 months ago, was on course for it. You had Everton finishing.
Do me next.
You guys are read all of ours.
All right.
Yeah.
This is how Nate had his top 4.
Yeah.
Chelsea finishing 4th. Liverpool.
Close.
Liverpool finishing 3rd.
I wanted that. Yeah.
Man City finishing 2nd, and Arsenal winning it all.
That's why Arteta should be fired. He made me wrong.
Agreed.
Jerk.
Here's who you had getting relegated.
Yeah.
Southampton.
Hey!
Finished dead last. You picked them dead last. Well done. Ipswich.
Hey!
Well done.
Yeah.
And then you also had Nottingham Forest getting relegated.
I should have changed that one. I didn't truly believe that. I never believed that.
All right, Brooks. Here's who you had
I got
for the top.
pressured into that one.
Brooks, here's who you had top 4. You had Villa finishing 4th.
Brooks have
Could
Chelsea.
still happen. You had Arsenal finishing 3rd. Could still happen.
Yeah.
You had Liverpool finishing 2nd. No.
Yeah.
And then you had Man City winning it all.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's who you had getting relegated. You ready?
Yeah.
Southampton. Congratulations. You picked Southampton, and they did finish last. Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, just like Danny.
And then you also had
Everton. Yeah, we had the same 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's who I had. I had Villa finishing 4th, Chelsea finishing 3rd. That could very well happen. Man City finishing 2nd, and Arsenal finishing 1st. So I didn't have Liverpool in my top 4. Here's who I had getting relegated. Ipswich, Southampton, and then for some reason, I picked Bournemouth. I don't know why. I think they'd just gone through a manager change or something, and I picked them. So all of us got pretty much 2 right.
We're all winners. Yay! Get it, Brooks.
Yeah, so we got 2 right.
I must have been smoking weed. I must have been drunk when I made that list. Man United finishing 1st. When did we make that? At the start of the season?
Yeah.
We did that.
It was like a million years ago.
Yeah.
And the funny thing was, I said, Danny, are you sure you want to go with that? He goes, yeah, I think they can actually do it. we got to find that.
Well, I was hoping that 15 other teams above them would find an ineligible player so they could win the title.
You wanted cases on all other 14 league teams.
We have to find that footage. All right, we got to talk about El Clásico. That was a hell of a game. That's going to come up. We're going to talk about that right after this.
I'm Craig Hearn. Today, I'm here with the football doc, Dr. Zachary Atwood. He's going to show me some simple exercises and stretches to do before my soccer games. Because to be honest, I'm getting a little older and I need to be better prepared for these games. All right, he's got some stuff he's going to show us. Let's jump in.
What's up, guys? Dr. Zach here with Craig. We're going through a dynamic warm-up here. Super important, especially in this age group as we get older. A lot of guys that I see, they go right from their car and straight to the field without any warm-up. We want to make sure that we're getting the body warm, we're getting loose, we get the heart rate up so that we can help reduce injuries. All right, guys, so I've got Craig currently doing some grass sweeps. He's doing a Frankenstein stretch, and he's also going through some pogos right now. Whoa, Craig, what the hell?
Yep, sorry, Doc.
All this newfangled dynamic warm-up, this and that. What was wrong with my old warm-up? Oh, yeah, the doc was right. Definitely need the new warm-up. Oh, good Lord. Big thank you to the doctor, Dr. Zach Atwood, for being a friend and partner of the show. Danny, you coach Marion High School, the girls, and the doctor, the good doctor, the football doc, Dr. Zach Atwood was out, you were just telling us, to one of your training sessions and did some baseline testing for your team?
Yeah, he came out early on in the season. It was just a Monday after the tryout week, and he came out and did baseline testing with the girls, knee strength and all that sort of stuff to sort of like figure out sort of like a percentage of what players' knees were under strength and could possibly be a potential for ACL and gave them some information, some valuable information. So he was absolutely fantastic. Anybody that's got those injuries, go see the football doc.
Awesome. Very cool. All right. Let's jump in. Let's talk about the El Clásico that happened today. My word, if you missed this game, did you miss one of the games of the season? Real Madrid go up 2-0 on Barcelona early in the game. No, that's not the. They were just goals galore. I just think both sets of defenses decided to take the day off. We don't feel like being here. 4-3 Barcelona in the end. Barcelona inched closer to the title, essentially just wrapping it up. Mbappe had a hat trick. He now becomes the Golden Boots leader in La Liga, 2 ahead of Lewandowski. And Lamine Yamal was amazing today. Rafinha could have had 7 goals himself. He missed a hatful of chances. Absolutely incredible how many chances he missed. But you got to be a good player to get into those chances, and whatever.
Remember when Mbappe was struggling in the beginning of the year?
Yeah.
He probably wasn't the same player that they thought he was. He wasn't going to make it, and he couldn't play with Vinny Jr. and all that.
Well,
now Vinny Jr. might be out.
That was a cool story.
Well, Vinny Jr.
I've heard Saudi Pro League they may sell him too.
We'll get to a little bit of news about Vinicius Jr. in a couple minutes here.
Ooh.
I got something for you. I still watching them this year. Even in the games they win and they're playing well, it's a struggle with Vinny and Mbappe. It just doesn't seem to work properly yet. I just don't know if they've ended up having to drop Vinny back in the midfield a little further. He's the one playing the ball forward. His goals have been down this year. I guess he's okay with it. But it's just a little bit off. They're not the same team they were last year without Mbappe.
Just wait for Xavi to get in there.
Just wait for Mr. Xavi Alonso.
Just give him a minute.
Mbappe's gonna have to really redefine his game, though, isn't he?
Yes.
Because he's traditionally from France and PSG. He's been a winger.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now they see him as this central centerpiece. And Ronaldo, when Ronaldo went to Real Madrid, he was a winger at United, and he morphed into a central figure, central forward, and they just have a knack of doing it. But Xavi will get them playing.
It's funny, a lot of forwards in the last couple of years have gone through that transition from being a left winger to playing as a central striker, right? We're talking about Mbappe doing that. You mentioned Ronaldo. Someone else that had that, Rashford, right? Traditionally plays on the left, and a lot of teams now want to play him when he was at Man United the last couple of games, and now at Villa, they want to play him in the center as well. It's interesting that that's what is happening. And I wonder if that's formation-based and how you play with these players. I don't know. Mbappe is, Danny, you're right, going to have to reinvent his game a little bit because he still ends up always on the left and cutting in and trying to use his right foot. Today, he did that multiple times. I didn't see him get the ball very often on the right-hand side of the pitch.
I think he can, Mbappe. Vinicius can't, and that's why they got to get rid of him.
Okay.
In my opinion. I don't know. I think a lot of Brazilian players. There's been a lot of great ones. OG Ronaldo, Roberto Carlos. But a lot of them that come up and have the hype, they're very much one-dimensional in my opinion.
It just depends on what they do.
Yeah.
I mean, it just depends on what Xavi wants.
Yeah.
If Xavi goes out and buys a central forward, and without a shadow of a doubt that Vinny will be off one side and Mbappe will be off the other.
Well, Erling Haaland's agent a few weeks ago is not ruling out possibly that, to execute the clause, and then, you know what I mean?
And if Pep goes, it might be the right time for Haaland to bounce as well.
Yep.
That whole City team could just come collapsing down. I mean, Kevin De Bruyne gone, and then Haaland out, and then Pep gone. I mean, who knows? That'd be interesting. Half of them would flood over to Barcelona and to Real Madrid.
Now La Liga is a superpower.
Barcelona, though, this year have just been outstanding in La Liga and even in Champions League, just outstanding.
It's got the German coach.
Oh man, Hansi Flick has just turned that club around this season, and he didn't really bring in too many new players. The same players that were there last year that were failing.
Players.
Oh my word!
You want to win? Get yourself a German.
Yep.
All I say.
Well, we got.
That's why we hired.
That's why we got you.
But we got you, and we got Thomas Tuchel.
No, I'm just a wannabe German. You really screwed up
with your sandals and socks.
You guys really blew the pooch on that one, man.
We did. You convinced us you were German.
No.
Damn it. You brought us German beer once?
Yeah, probably.
See, that's what did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you bring us German coffee one time?
What?
That's not.
That's
not a thing. Okay.
That's not a thing.
I thought he'd bring us
That's
coffee,
not a
though.
thing.
German beer.
Yeah.
We already covered that.
I like German beer. All right, so Barcelona, I think, go on there. We'll put up the table here. Here is La Liga table. They are, 7 points ahead. It's done and dusted. Real Madrid are coming back from that.
So they beat them 4 times, right? Because they played them
4 times this year.
Yeah.
4 times.
That's crazy.
That's nutty.
I read something on the little ticker wire on the bottom.
Yeah.
That's the first time that's ever happened.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Barcelona beat Real Madrid or Real Madrid like that.
Wow.
One or the other
4
in 1 year had beaten the other side.
It's incredible. I mean, if we're being honest, La Liga is a 2-horse race.
Wait a minute.
Every year.
What about Girona?
My Girona? No.
Last year they were in
Our
there.
Girona. It's not your Girona. It's not my Girona. It's our
When the league's interesting, Atletico's in there scrapping with both of them, and then there's a 4th team that's like if it's Valencia.
The problem is that the Atletico does not have the financial capital to keep up with those two.
Correct. They can only keep players for so long, then just get rid of them.
And everybody wants to go to the 2 biggest clubs in the world, Barcelona and Real Madrid.
Stuttgart. What?
What? No, Madrid and Barcelona.
Sorry.
Yeah. Listen. For me, Barcelona have just been absolutely phenomenal. Didn't see it coming. Hansi Flick turned that club around. Incredible. Interesting to see how they pull some levers this summer to free up some money to buy some players, because they're going to need to buy 1 or 2. Can't ever stand pat.
So I'd say they probably need a goalkeeper. Well, Ter Stegen will come back.
Ter Stegen's coming back. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Wojciech Szczesny, listen, he did very well.
Yes, for coming out of retirement, right?
But man, oh man, has he made some mistakes in the last couple of weeks, and it shows they definitely need Ter Stegen back.
Yes.
Yeah. He's coming back for sure. I don't know what else they need. They got a bunch of youngsters around. Probably need another center midfield in there to help. Lewandowski's getting up there in age, so you might need another true 9. But to be honest, it's a player here, a player there. Barcelona could be it for the next couple of years. I'm really interested to see what Xabi Alonso, who has him and Bayer Leverkusen have said, yep, we're leaving, we're parting ways. It is almost a foregone conclusion. I don't think the papers have been signed yet for Real Madrid and Xabi Alonso.
But it's kind of been like a mutual agreement between the club that he's going.
We haven't seen our good friend, what's his face, Fabrizio Romano hasn't come out and said it yet. Here we go, but it's all expected and very soon. But El Clásico, what a freaking brilliant match. Please go watch it or watch the extended highlights. You will thank me later. All right, boys, we're going to talk about a little bit of news here. We've covered the Bayer Leverkusen exiting coach Xabi Alonso, where he could be going. He's officially announced that he will leave the club at the end of the season. Bayer Leverkusen are pushing a lot to recruit Cesc Fabregas as their next manager, whose departure from Cuomo is increasingly likely.
They've been doing well, Cuomo, and
Cesc Fabregas has really done well this year, so that could very well happen. That's interesting. Florian Wirtz, also of Bayer Leverkusen, has decided to join Bayern Munich.
Boo! Boo!
He said
boo!
He said no to Real Madrid.
Boo!
He said no to Man City.
Boo!
But yes to Bayern Munich.
Boo!
Boo. Why does he want to go to Bayern Munich? Go somewhere else. You're a freaking brilliant talent. Go to La Liga. Go to the Premiership. Why do you want to stick in the Bundesliga and go to
I'm not getting
Munich?
In this conversation because I don't actually think he's a good player.
Oh.
I just don't like him.
No?
No, not my type of player.
No?
No.
What is your type of player?
You know.
Hey, this is a family.
5'7" stocky wearing a blue shirt.
I think he's a really good player. I think he's gonna really come about as a really great player for the next club, Bayern Munich. I think he's gonna show his worth.
If he goes to Munich and he shows himself and he does well, yeah.
I'm confused where he's gonna go and play.
Oh, how's he gonna fit in there?
Yeah, because you already have someone who does that. His name is Jamal Musiala.
Did they sell him?
No, they just signed into an extension last year.
No,
I think he signed a 3-4-year extension.
There's a player that Real Madrid, Barcelona, City, Man United, Arsenal.
They would want him.
Looking for
Maybe they'll cash in on him. Maybe they'll cash in.
I mean, because you sign a new contract, be like, hey, you got to give us more, right?
But right now, you got basically two of the same players because that's essentially what they're. Now, I will say on the national team, they've sorted it out.
Yep.
They sorted it out on the national team. They both play. So it's possible, but you're congested. Then you got Kingsley Coleman. You got Olsey.
He's meant to be going, though, Coleman, right?
Yeah, I mean, he has been. You got Gnabry, you got Sane. Like, you just have. It's just really that front four outside of Kane who might need to go because he's just not quick enough.
He's not going to fit in there anymore with those quick kids around him.
But none of those guys replace Kane, so it's very congested there right now, and can't really stay the same, you know.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how that works. See if Vince and company can fit him in and how that works, and maybe make a run at the Champions League next year. Other news: Vinicius Jr., the player you just mentioned, Brooks, a couple of minutes ago, he's actually signed, or about to sign, a 3-year extension at Real Madrid. He's going to be earning 20 million euros.
Makes no sense
after tax. He becomes the club's highest earner. Becomes their top earner.
Makes no sense to me.
I don't get
Mbappe is the better player, and I think you can replace him and get a guy that fits with Mbappe.
I get what you're saying, Brooks. I do. Yeah. I really do. But not because Rodrigo hasn't been playing recently.
Sure.
So I get signing him to an extension if he's going to if Xabi's come in and said, yeah, I want to keep him.
Yes. Okay, fair enough.
And Mbappe's going to play off one flank, Vinny's going to play off the other, and Real Madrid, they'll go. If there's an opportunity to go and get Haaland, they'll go get it.
Oh, for sure.
Stockpile.
I mean, his agent,
they will.
His agent will.
That's what Madrid do.
Yeah.
If they want a player, they will go and get a player.
And they'll just collect them and call them El Galacticos too.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. No, it's interesting that they've done that. Here's one that kind of blew my mind a little bit. BX Gunner 82. You might really like this one. Arsenal are in advanced talks with Leandro Trossard for a new 4-year deal. I like Trossard. I think it was a great buy at £27 million 2 years ago from Brighton. I think that's where he came from.
If I was the manager of Blackpool, I wouldn't buy him.
But 4-year extension? He's a good servant to a good player. He's not going to win you games. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Yeah, interesting one there. Some rumors that are coming up. You ready for this? Are you ready for this?
No.
Real Madrid are eyeing David Raya from Arsenal.
Why?
Yeah, don't know. This was on the official rumor list today.
Spanish?
He's 29 years old and under contract until 2028 at Arsenal. Courtois is 33. I think Courtois has got another several years in him. With how big he is and athletic he is.
7 years in him.
Yeah.
The Spanish tend to favor the Spanish. That's just how
they do. But David Raya? I'm sorry, against Barcelona, he would have been eaten alive today. Some of the saves Courtois had to make against Barcelona, they were phenomenal. This makes absolutely no sense to me. I don't know if there's just someone put it out there, but it was in the official SoccerNet rumor list today. People talking about it, so that was an interesting one. Don't see it happening. I do not see that one happening. Al Hilal want Bruno Fernandes and are refusing to give up the chase on him.
I don't think he wants to leave, man.
I don't think he wants to.
I don't think he wants to leave, but I think as a Man United fan, that if you can get anywhere north of 100 million for him, you know, at his age, influence, you
fair enough.
Cash in and go and get somebody else.
Yep.
Fair enough.
I think you have to. I think you get anywhere north of 80. I think you have to cash in and just go, we need to buy new players, younger players, and go. Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't see him leaving. I see him saying no and wanting to stay. Victor Osimhen, the forward, as we all know, made his mark at Napoli a couple of years ago, winning them the Serie A, is wanted by Juventus and Manchester United this summer.
Don't want him, and I'm going to really make Nate's day right now.
Why don't you want...
I don't know. I want my day made, though. I'm really excited for this.
Please explain.
I don't care about Victor Osimhen.
I want a player that's playing in the German league right now, and it's not Harry Kane.
Ooh.
Benjamin Sesko.
Benjamin.
Wow.
There's a lot of people who want him, right? He's high on lists.
It seems like Sesko would be a cheaper option, too.
I think Osimhen would be a great fit for
cheaper
Liverpool.
Option, younger, fits into the 3-4-3.
Yeah.
Active. Hungry.
Very active.
Yeah. I think he's a brilliant player.
Eastern European, so always angry.
Yeah. Always. It was just
has some great arm tattoos. So, you know.
So buy him.
Buy him. Yeah. Dyes his hair good colors.
Just an FYI, there's a goalkeeper who's done very well as of recently. Inter Milan. He's made his name there in the last.
Boy, did we buy the wrong Inter Milan goalkeeper, didn't we?
Yes.
We could have bought Hans Sommer for $2 million, and we splashed $50 million on a player that got.
Yes, and Inter Milan only paid $5 million for him.
Yeah. I mean, I had to throw that one in there, a little jab.
Do you know there was a rumor that wasn't on SoccerNet, to be honest with you, and I will share it with you, that Man United are in for Aaron Ramsdale.
That's an interesting one. I honestly thought when he was at Arsenal, he was a really good goalkeeper. And then David Raya came in, and I didn't understand it, but I see the saves Raya has and the feet he has, and now you saw Ramsdale go down to Southampton, and it's been less than spectacular. I don't think he's Man United quality. I just don't see him as Man United quality.
I want, selfishly, I want Costa.
Yeah?
Yeah, from Benfica.
No, I think they should get, though. It's a Spanish goalkeeper been doing really good for Fiona. It's Dave De Gea. Have you heard
Yeah, I've heard of him.
No, where's he played before?
Maybe fly over to Fiorentina.
Yeah, maybe go over to Fiorentina. I heard he's been doing really well. While
we're on the plane, can we take a detour to Holland, please, and strangle Ten Hag for letting him go?
I saw a rumor that Leverkusen was a destination for him if Xabi leaves, and I'm like, no chance. I'm like, no chance for that.
No.
I will give you this. I'm gonna give you a prediction for me. I think Liverpool will jump in on Haaland because Haaland's agent represents Arne Slot.
What?
Yes, and they need a striker.
They really don't need a striker, but
they're getting rid of Nunez, right?
Nunez, they're reportedly getting rid of him, right?
Yeah.
But no,
you don't think so?
They won't pay his wages. They won't pay those wages.
You think City's gonna sell Liverpool their wagging striker?
Not into the Premiership, nah.
Yeah.
Brooks, that's a crazy one.
I know it is, but you look at like who the agent represents and
he's been
politics.
watching too much lacrosse today. He's
I think he's been watching too much lacrosse and too much Stephen A. Smith of ESPN.
There's a lot of players that have the same agents as other people and other clubs.
I like the thought, but if that comes off, Brooks, we're all gonna.
That was an amazing prediction, by the way. Almost as amazing as the heat map.
And almost as good as Man United.
You want to write that one down?
And also the one. Remember, the Messi's gonna struggle.
He actually has this past for a little bit.
Well, for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
2 weeks.
It's getting to him.
All right, boys. We got 2 more things. What big club in the world is coming here? And this is a serious thing. Is coming here this summer. No, don't answer it, Nate. This is the lead-in. Don't answer.
Dortmund.
No.
Munich.
What big club is coming here this summer
Stuttgart.
to do tryouts? And it's a very serious tryouts. We will tell you right after this.
Tempo, yes, drop out, good. Yes, touch play, right foot, yes. Scan, good. Touch in, play, drop your hip, right, yes, good scan. Yes. Jay, well done. Good side on touch. Play, see it, yes.
All right, we're going to wrap up here in a couple of minutes, but late breaking news with Nate. Nate, give it to us, man. What's going on?
So we talked about Florian Wirtz going to Munich.
Yes, sir.
8 minutes ago, it was just revealed that actually Leverkusen is saying they're not quite sure the deal is a deal. They were certain of it, and now Real Madrid has apparently jumped back in.
Ooh.
Now that Xavi's going over to Madrid. This is 8 minutes ago by Fabrizio Romano.
Okay. Friend of the show, by the way, Fabrizio Romano.
Yeah, he called. Or it's on Facebook. But yeah, I just thought that was a little bit interesting and related. So
it's
not a done deal. It's not a done deal.
That move makes sense.
That move makes sense with Modric
leaving
towards the end of his career.
Yep.
Yes.
And they need to replace Cruz as well. They haven't done that yet.
They have not done that.
Correct.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I like that. All right. What club is coming here? Well, Real Madrid. Real Madrid is coming here this summer to hold tryouts in the USA. Real Madrid has launched a new project holding tryouts in the US aimed at discovering talent in the United States as more and more young players are moving to Europe from the States. More than 1,000 players between the ages of 18 and 19 will take part in tryouts in hopes of being selected to join the Dream Team that will ultimately train at Real Madrid's prestigious training center. Real Madrid will set up camps across different cities in the United States, each hosting up to 250 players. The experience will begin on June 17th in Dallas and conclude on July 24th in Los Angeles. A month of continuous evaluation in search of the best players born in the United States, also making stops in Philadelphia, Washington, and Chicago.
Watch all the drama unfold on this new Hulu special.
Nailed it.
Brought to you by Coca-Cola and Madrid.
I think they'll end up finding a couple players, and that's about it.
Anything that they can do to drum up the 150 million is going to need to get Haaland.
Yes. Yeah.
It's such BS. Like so I'll tell you this. I know this from inside information. Kevin Sullivan went to Dortmund, Real Madrid, Man City, and I think there was a fourth one he went to. And Real Madrid didn't want Kevin Sullivan. And he probably fits better in the Spanish league than he does playing for Man City because he's a technical player, but he's not very
that young
physical
17-year-old that's going
for the Union. Yeah.
15.
Yeah.
15.
Yeah, 15, 16-year-old. Dortmund probably would have been a better one too. So like this is ridiculous. Like if you didn't take him and identify him as a top player, I'm not saying he's like the next Christian Pulisic, but he's a good player.
Yep.
Good player, right? Like this is just like Danny said. It's just let's fun to get Haaland.
So is this a money grab, boys?
Yeah.
100%. So this is big money grab.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if anybody's interested between the ages of 18 and 19,
44.
Find one of the. You've got a shot.
18 and 44.
If you shaved, you could look like you may be 19 and a half. So maybe. All right.
With your good looks, you're a shoo-in for this TV show.
TV show.
Come on, they're going to be called a dream team at the end. You're telling me that doesn't ring of like inside TV show somewhere, somehow, someplace.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought the same thing when I read it.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, moving on. 2026 World Cup tickets on sale this year. 2026 World Cup tickets are expected to go on sale later this year, and it is estimated that the group stage ticket prices would average $305. That actually makes a lot of sense. Average price. So you got some really high ones, some really low ones. So I'm betting you can get a World Cup game for about $100.
So you want the FIFA Club World Cup package then?
No, I don't.
Like we talked about.
I don't want to.
So you can get the
Club
ticket.
World Cup.
I'm
Yeah.
going to try and see England's 3 group games.
Nice.
I'm going to try and do it.
Yeah. Okay.
I think you're gonna end up having to win the lottery. The ticket they'll put not lottery money, but the ticket lottery, right? Or you're gonna end up paying through the nose of tickets. But yeah, I'd love to do the same, but it's gonna be tough. And I tell people a lot of time, they ask me, "Are you gonna go watch the games?" I go, "I would love to, but it's gonna be tough to get tickets. It really.
We should do a WAS game. Ooh, WAS staff go to any game.
That'd be a good idea. Anyone, any game. Pick
Brought to you by Coca-Cola and Real Madrid, the WAS Dream Team.
Just the 4 of us.
On Hulu.
Yeah. The U.S. Venue Series offers the opportunity to buy tickets to matches to every match in each of the 11 U.S.-based host cities. Of those, Dallas is the only city scheduled to host 9 tournament games. Los Angeles, New York, Atlanta getting 8. The full 8-game New York package includes the final at the Meadowlands on July 19th next year, and begins at $25,800, while the $73,200 figure is for the most luxurious option. The LA package, featuring the U.S. men's national team's opening game on June 12th, has a range of $20,000 to $36,000. The cheapest selection in this category was $8,000 for the 6 games at Levi Stadium.
So you get $8,000. You get 6 games.
Yes, sir.
So which one are we doing as the We Are Soccer?
Well, we don't want to look. We don't want to do the $8,000 one.
No.
Look cheap.
Yeah, which one's the tax write-off?
I can't even do the math on what those would cost the 4 of us. Too much money.
Well, it's not going to cost us anything. It's a business expense.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. You to front the money, you have to pay for it somehow. I don't know if we have
Loans?
Huh?
Loans.
Yeah.
Business loans.
Business loan. We
That
need
we
the business
then-
loan to go see the World Cup games for the 4 of us.
No, when you put it like that, no one's. You walk in, you go, sir, I have a lucrative adventure. We're a small company. We need to do market research in order to get this done. And honestly, the market research is not that expensive in hindsight. It's only like $300,000. You get yourself that. It's fully tax write-off. Here's why. It's
Maybe you could apply for media
Bing
credentials.
and a boom.
Maybe.
Bing and a boom.
Maybe. It's just that easy.
Just that easy.
Just that
Walk into a bank. It's fine.
Yeah. All right. A big thank you to our partners this week. A big thank you to Next Level Training. The best trainers in the country reside here at Next Level Training. Big thank you to those guys and girls. A big thank you to Soccer World, soccerworld.net for all of your soccer gear needs. A big thank you to the Michigan Jaguars, MichiganJaguarsFC.com for more information on them. Nate and I participated with our kids this weekend in the Michigan Jags tournament. That was a very cool, it was a great tournament. Even better by the weather. Finally, the weather was absolutely brilliant around here, so that was good. And a big thank you to the football doc, Dr. Zachary Atwood. As you heard Danny Price say, if you're looking to get back on the field after an injury or looking to do some baseline testing, hit up the football doc, Dr. Zachary Atwood. For me and the boys, that's going to wrap us up. We'll see you next week. Cheers.